Hello, 8th graders. Welcome to lesson 2.1.3. Today's lesson is called What Does Minus Mean? Okay, today we're talking about negatives. We're talking about how to make negatives with tiles. And so for today's lesson, it would be really good if you had a split screen of this video, and on the other split screen you had your ebook to lesson 2.1.3. If you need time to get there, go ahead and do that now. All right, here we go. Top of the page, 2-22. What does minus mean? Find as many ways as you can to describe this symbol and discuss how these descriptions differ from one another. Share your ideas with the class and record the different uses in your learning log. Now, we're just going to start 2.22 with the words meanings of minus. Okay? Meanings of minus. Now, you should be able to brainstorm a couple right now. Pause the video and brainstorm a couple of them. All right, you've had some time to go ahead and record a couple. Let's go ahead and list a couple. Well, the easy ones that people always do, minus, subtract, take away, less than, those are all ones that we use in math. But in the real world, we also think of loss, right? Like you lose a game. Or maybe in football, you lose yardage, negative. Back, going back is a negative. Going down is negative. Decreasing, descending. These are all negative words. In addition, you could record debt as negative. That is negative money. When you borrow from a bank or an individual, that is money that is in your hand, but it's not really yours. It's somebody else's, and you got to pay that back to get back to zero. And so these are all negative words, and we use them in different contexts. And so today we're going to explore kind of where do we see that inside of the algebra tile realm. Let's see, any that I missed? Oh yes, opposite. The word opposite, if you wrote the number 9, what is the opposite of 9? And you would respond with negative 9. This is opposite. So if you haven't written any of these words down, it might be a good thing to do that now. Okay? So here's the real meat of today's lesson. Okay? We're going to focus on utilizing these tiles and expression mats, and how do we show these expressions on an expression mat. Notice in the upper right hand corner you've got this diagram where inside you have a shaded tile that is a positive and an empty tile is negative. Okay, I think of this like a piggy bank, right? If it's shaded, it's filled. Your piggy bank is filled with money. Yay, good thing. If your piggy bank is empty, not filled in, that's bad. It's a bad thing, negative, okay? And so filled is positive, empty, negative. Good, bad. Filled, positive, empty, negative, okay? You got to remember that because we're looking at all these examples of how this works. So you've got this and you're like, okay, there are 5 shaded singles. 5 shaded singles says 5 positive tiles. Here's 3 empty tiles. That's negative 3 tiles. I have 3 shaded X's. That's a positive 3X. I have 2 empty Y tiles. That's a negative 2Y. Okay, that's just a reminder of what these look like. The other day we were in class and we had tiles and they were positive with color, and the backside was negative. If you open up the e-tools and you get out tiles, you've got color, you got negative. But when we're drawing on our papers, we've got to be able to show that, because you might not have colored pencils and we're shading with pencil or we're leaving it empty to be negative. So here we go. Build 2 different representations for 2x. Okay? 2x. Here we go. The first way that we're going to build 2x is we are going to take 2 negative tiles in the positive region. You'll notice that problem 223 has 4 of these mats. This is the first one. Okay? This is the second one. Okay? We're going left to right. And in here, this first box, you're going to write negative 2x, and that's using negative tiles. Notice, because I left them empty, they are negative 2 tiles. Okay? So go ahead and draw that in the first one. Now, there's more than one way. Just like we had all these synonyms for negative, there's more than one way to represent it on the expression mat. I noticed the expression mat has a positive region and a negative region. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the negative region. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take 2 positive tiles, and I'm going to place them in the negative region. So here's what that looks like on our mat. We're going to write negative parentheses 2x. Notice that the 2x inside parentheses is positive because the tiles are positive. They are positive tiles hanging out in the negative region. And I'm going to write negative region. And I know I'm not all the way done, but I want you to jump down to problem 224. There are 2 lines in your math notebook, 224. And I want you to start by writing 2 ways to make negative. 2 ways to make negative. There are 2 ways to make negative. The first way, use negative tiles. There are 2 ways to make negative. The first way, use negative tiles. The second way is to use the negative region. Use the negative region. And the reason why I wanted you to write this down is because of our next problem. Okay? Our next problem needs to utilize both the positive region and the negative region. So here we go. I'm going to build 3x. Notice it's positive. 1, 2, 3 x's. And then I notice negative region. One of the keys from today is recognizing that these parentheses are telling us negative region. The negative region is telling us negative parentheses. It goes back and forth. So the negative region, I've got to build down here. What am I putting in the negative region? I'm going to put negative 4. So when I'm reading this, I see 3x up here minus parentheses, and inside the parentheses there are negative 4. I'm hoping you're beginning to see how this notation is expressed on our map. Positive 3x, negative region, negative 4. Please draw that in this is the third box. Third box. This will be the 4th box. Okay? Pause if you need more time. Now, it wants us to build a second way to do this. I knew how to do that here, but maybe we can think about simplifying, because what do we do with 2 negatives? What's another way to treat 2 negatives? 2 negatives make a positive. Okay, so let's write this differently. 3x, 2 negatives make a positive, plus 4. Let's go ahead and draw positive 3x plus 4. Well, that's going to be 3 x's that are shaded and 4 singles that are shaded. I know, I'm a master artist. What can I say? It's a gift. You're welcome. I really know how to draw these tiles. I've done this for 16 years. What can I say? All right. 2 ways to make positive. Negative tiles, negative region. Okay, that's one of the keys from today. So, for problem 2-25, this is where you're going to want to click on the algebra tiles icon in problem 2-25. Because what you're going to do is you are going to look at the problem in your book, and then you are going to build it and draw it. I'll do A and B, you do C and D. Here we go. So I know A that A is going to be 3x. Is it positive 3x? No, Mr. McCoy, it's negative. Click, click, click. Negative 3x plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is negative 3x plus 4. Negative 3x plus 4. Notice when you draw these are empty and these are shaded. Okay, make sure you do that part. All right. So let's notice if you hit the refresh button, it'll clear your board. The next problem letter B, is going to be negative parentheses y minus 2. Negative parentheses. What does that tell me? Negative parentheses. Oh, that tells me everything is going to happen down here in the negative region. So let's see. Negative parentheses y. Notice that y is positive. Negative parentheses is the region, but it's a positive y, and minus 2. Now, when I say minus, does that mean the 2 is positive? No, when I say minus, I mean those are negative. So I'm going to use the negative region, negative parentheses. This is negative parentheses, positive y, minus 2, close parentheses. The parentheses said region. The y is positive. The minus 2, this minus said this negative. And you have to make that connection, that there are two ways to make minus, to make negative, to make subtraction. The negative region and the negative tiles. I want you to build C and D. I want you to draw C and D. Ready, set, go. All right, let's go ahead and do our last problem. Our last problem is reversing our thinking, okay? Before I gave you the expression and you drew it. Now we're going to take the drawing and we're going to write the expression. So when I look at this, I see positive region only. If it's positive region only, everything doesn't need a parentheses. So I'm going to write what I see. How many x's do we see? That's right, 2. 2 x's. They are positive because they are shaded. Okay, how many singles do I see? I see 3. Are they positive or negative? Well, they're empty, so it's a negative 3. Mr. McCoy, you didn't write negative, you wrote minus. Remember, they're synonyms. I do not want you to write 2x plus negative 3. We are lazy mathematicians. We are efficient mathematicians. And so we are going to focus on this method. This is what the book is going to write. So this is what I'm going to write. I need you to transfer your thinking that, yes, these are the same things, but we are going to write it in this first way. Okay? Next problem. B. Where is everything? Well, everything is in the negative region. So everything is in the negative region. So you start with that parentheses. Everything is in the negative region. Okay, and what is in the negative region? Well, I see a y. Is it positive or negative? Well, it's shaded, so it's positive. So it's positive. And what else do I see? I see 4 tiles. Are they positive or negative? They are negative. So I wrote negative 4. Mr. McCoy, that doesn't say negative. It says minus. It says subtract 4. It says take away 4. It's all the same synonym. Y minus 4 is y negative 4. Is opposite 4. Okay? Is fewer 4. Less than 4. I guess it's 4 less than y is the correct way to say it. But you get my point. Negative region, negative tiles. I want you to finish off with C and D. This is going to conclude our lesson on what makes minus. What is minus? 2 ways. Negative tiles, negative region. The more we can get that in our mind, the easier the next steps are going to be. Thanks for tuning in to today's lesson. Make sure you finish C and D, and I'll see you tomorrow.